Hello, Pisces. Quick read, okay? A message from your ancestors or just a cautionary piece of advice for a situation in the near future. Your October readings are being loaded, so check the post tab across the top if you've had the YouTube update or wherever in the center where you scroll over and say, I used to say community board, but it's called post. Make sure that you are checking the notification bells. And if you're a newcomer, welcome, subscribe if it resonates. And for all of you, please hit the like button. It's like giving an energy boost to the channel. It is free and it shows your support to me and spirit as we get started on your reading. Here it is, very beautiful. The Peacock Tail, one of my favorite cards. So I'm going to go with intuitive and then we'll go with the messages from the card interpretation itself. Now, intuitively, I said something has your attention because I know this represents a beautiful male peacock. Usually they have the attention grabbing appearance or whatnot. So I felt that it could have been like a masculine energy or a male. And the reason why I said it has your attention, because the peacock is very beautiful. It's like time freezes. When you see something that's very gorgeous, it puts on a show. Like most of the peacock, if you are lucky enough to experience it, they'll walk out and it's real subtle, and then it's like a placow, the tail spreads, and then there's all of, so look at that. There's all of the beauty that comes with it, and it grabs your attention. That's what I got first. All right. Now, from the card, the peacock's tail, the interpretation within this deck does represent a full vision of some sort, and it does intertwine with spirit because it's represented by stars and feathers and things of that nature. It represents the 1,000 eyes. So if this isn't you aligning with or embodying the wisdom and the foresight and perspective of your ancestors and your guides, it definitely says that you have moved into a different energy, a different perspective, and a way of seeing things, which is a beautiful thing. It's like you are in perfect alignment with the divine and your higher self and how you see things in situations. I noticed that in this particular illustration, you have the forest, which is in the background. And in this particular deck, this is the Alchemy deck by the beautiful Kim Krans. The forest represents like where we go. Okay, you're going to find good, bad, right or wrong, true or false, true love, your soul purpose, or all the tricks and the treats along the way. Having a full spectrum says that we're maybe even above it to see what's down off in there before we go in there experimenting, getting caught up and stuff. And it also represents the ancestors that have lived those experiences that could offer us a bit of advice as well as our guides. All right. The peacock represents inclusive. What is how you say inclusivity. Okay. Being inclusive. So I don't care if these are blended families, if we have accepted some things about ourselves and are just including it into our daily practices. We're no longer like fighting with shadow work, or we've accepted things that may be hard to accept at times. Like there are relationships, people, places, and situations that part of our higher self frowns upon, but our human selves kind of like find some delight in. This card says that we can be inclusive and see a broader spectrum, to not feel shame or guilt about certain things, or not be totally blindsided by things. So tuition, intuition in check, intelligence in check, being practical in check. Everything is pretty much in alignment here, which is why it has the beautiful colors in alignment, right? The peacock's tail is sacred at times, and it's mesmerizing. The tail feathers open up, and it marks that you're being shifted from a single to a multi-perspective sort of, thing. It's a great achievement. Okay. It opens up 1,000 sets of eyes instead of one. So you've discarded the black and white way of thinking. I know a lot of your cards, Pisces, have pointed to judgment and using our discernment, but this is a more creative solution to complex social or political polarities, and a sacred space. It's like a safe space for it. So it could even say that this conversation is a safe space. Whatever we're dealing with, we're going to leave the judgment behind. Okay. We're going to leave that sword and those boundaries and defensiveness, all the strong suits that could be favorable for our development. It just says that this is a safe space to have this conversation for whatever it is that may be going on. Okay. At the bottom of the deck, because I didn't even look, you have the blue temple. I love blue. Okay, maybe our safe space is the blue flame right here. I'm feeling that, and we're going to sit that up there. The next card that comes out is vinegar. With that, the beautiful moon. I love that. And then you had coagulation. We're also going to take some clarifiers, but this is sort of like our icebreaker. Okay, I didn't know the screen was so little, limiting my space. So Spirit is like, keep it short and sweet with this one. Okay, I'll do that. I can do that after I stop fumbling. Okay, so there we have it. All right, everybody can see. Okay, cool. I'm going to use these for our clarifiers. Ah, look at that. Bottom of the deck. I'm not upset. Top of the deck. Okay, she's very attractive. Ooh, she's manifesting something, possibly marriage, but there's something within that could be a little bit, okay, Spirit said contaminated. Let's see what we got there. Now, when I saw vinegar, because I have some familiarity with this particular deck, I thought about cleansing, all right? I know that in the guidebook, a purge of some sort comes like shortly after this, or some sort of active energy that causes like this purification, all right? Now, as sometimes it could lead to resentment and all kind of other things which come from like being bottled up, or like a fester of things, if that's the word that I'm looking for, and it's probably not, but we're going to roll with it. This card represents memory, okay? Now, for some of us, this card states that it can easily be overused, overwhelming, and this refers to the situation at hand. When this card appears, something present in your reading indicates a sour note permeates the laboratory. The laboratory is within you. So for some of us, there could be experiences, situations, people, and places, or memories that I don't want to say are triggering. It just leaves like a sour taste. Okay, so there could be something that has left a sour taste, or just like it's a resemblance of the past that's a little bit too close for comfort that may come into the horizon. All right. This also talks about it's a surprising sort of trump card. So for some of us, there's a mystery and a surprise that could come from a situation. And I could tell you right off, with coagulation as the outcome or the advice, this still takes us back to the peacock, where there's a blend, a creative way of seeing it, something being included. Maybe you didn't expect this additional thing. For others of us, it could involve any situations, childhood traumas, other people, okay, cross watchers, where codependency is in the arena. So just be mindful of that. It also talks about taking a productive look at our past, but not staring at it. Okay, it's the complex energy of vinegar, where we could be, scratching the surface of a past situation, person, place, behavior, or thing. And it says that's okay that we're doing that, but staying in that energy too long, festering, I keep using that word, on the person, place, or situation, like staring at it, may not be best. All right. Now, along with the vinegar card, I see the hyena. Okay. Now, let me tell you about this hyena. The hyena could be a friend or a person from the past that wants to come around, real friendly, shits and giggly, but has their own shit that they're dealing with, or carries their issues with them and kind of like glazes over them with laughter and jokes. It could be a petty friend that says something inappropriate and does so in a joking manner. It could be family. It could be you. It could be the cross watcher, where we kiki-kin. Okay, so just be mindful that for some of us, there could be a situation ahead where there's a key. And instead of acknowledging that, we could be slightly annoyed by it. Some of us, it's like the thousand eyes, the ancestors, the forewarning, the foresight is going to help us kind of like not even stick on that too long. Others of us, that's the exact energy that these situations could help us grow into. But be careful with that as well, because if you have been playing the higher road or the bigger person for a long time, dealing with the key, or if you embody that sort of energy, it may not be the best for the beautiful things that you are manifesting, okay? Because it does represent a past person, place, or thing, as well as behavior. And I'm noticing that the hyena, okay, and the moon card have several similarities here, with the moon, okay, the shade, the part that we see, the part that we don't see. So there could be like halfway instead of the whole way over there that we started this reading with, where this is the alchemical symbol for fire, this is the alchemical symbol for water. And so some of us, this vinegar could be the solution needed to properly handle a situation, and you're just being warned to not too much. And I've had that personally, where it's like being detached and nonchalant is a great remedy, but if I overuse that, it comes off in a manner that is probably not favorable for particular situations, relationships, or self-development. It's kind of like me, I could use that and not effectively deal with a situation, but take that and it's working and roll with it, but still have something festering or lingering like deep down inside about a situation. So that kind of takes us back to the kiki. Did I just kiki? All right, we on. The second card you have is my beautiful Luna here, right? There's no shade, okay? This is dead ass, like I'm handing it to you. While this is like half-ass because of whatever the case may be, this is full throttle. This is also intuitive, all right? It's something that you know, or it's a mystery. That's the duality of this card. It represents receptivity, intuition, and mystery. Practice yoga or the subtle art of dreaming awake. So that gives me like meditation and stuff like that. That could be a solution or of aid when it comes to this particular card. Now with tarot, sometimes the moon card could represent deception, darkness, and some less favorable aspects. But in this particular deck, for sure, it's going to represent a cooling effect. So while this is sort of sour and kiki and suspicious, okay, this is very cooling to the situation. It is very soothing and has that effect on the psyche. And so when I think of the psyche, mysteries, and complex situation, it gives me like if the devil card comes up a lot in your reading and just tells about some darker energy that could be within subconsciously, which is why, like I said, purification, purging, and stuff like that kind of comes after this card. Those things that I don't know, you could have been having a good day. It could have been some trines in a transit. For whatever reason, you accepted something, possibly in the past, that out of nowhere, you realize you didn't like that much. You realize that you're not completely over. And this could be the cross watcher who comes into this realization where they keyed when, you know, you said what you said. But now it's like after some sort of realization or a different perspective, they could be, you know, having some sort of awareness where they weren't as nonchalant, detached, or as hard up as they could have, you know, appeared in that moment. Okay. This also represents the mother of all mysteries. So this is the most complicated or complex person, relationship, or aspect of yourself. If you have any questions in your personal life about something, this card represents that. If it's a person that you just can't figure out, or, you know, I'm Pisces sun, I've heard it a lot, and I'm sure you have too, Pisces, people can't figure us out, then this just represents you and how they see you. It's like sometimes it's sweet, sometimes it's sour, like some Sour Patch shit, and just looking over the whole picture of it, it's like, I just can't figure them out, or I just can't figure this out. You know what I mean? It also says that it reminds us that we are in constant transition. A continual process of letting go. And that is like the 8 of Cups, 9 of Cups energy. So that's Pisces, Scorpio kind of like energy, or the blue temple at the bottom of the deck. It could be an aspect of the mastery or self-development of, you know, Mr. King of Cups itself. Now, this card may indicate a time of rest and restoration. It is in order. Okay. So while we're kind of like gliding through things, okay, putting monkeys on our back, moving forward, and kind of not letting things rock us like they could, That's cute, but so that it doesn't build up in the subconscious energy and later be an issue, your ancestors or spirit is saying that this is maybe a time for rest and restoration. It talks about new depths of spiritual practices. So all that talking we do about like I'm a diet, I'm a workout, I try yoga, I know I need to meditate, I just don't. Something is building up where if all of those warnings you've been giving yourself and intuitively you've been saying I gotta do some things, it's saying we don't want this surprise that could have not existed had we developed into some of those more helpful activities that I just talked about, those spiritual practices. It also says that dreams and memories are especially vivid. So for some of you, an answer that you've been looking for, because it's moving into this 2 up here, this high priestess energy, she is able to guide and whisper to us those mystery answers, okay, when we calm and still the mind. All right. Now, for some of us, it's like being nonchalant, kind of like laughing it off and acting like, everything's okay, is possibly not the calm energy that the high priestess can like pull up on us in, right? So we actually have to kind of rest to get into the spiritual practices, calm ourselves, still the mind, and there could be some information coming through in your dreams. The funny thing is, this card also represents memories, just like the peacock's tail. And for some of you, you could have dreams or things that come up through meditation that are answers from past lives, which would be memories that are replayed that you feel familiar to, but can't put your finger on it. And then also, if we have any game plan, any spell work or any tricksters like the hyena in the environment, where you may notice headaches or psychic interference and, things, people playing with you. That's all I can say, The gates to the liminal realm are open. So for some of us, this could be a transit or just the times that we're in, because it is harvest season and it is trick-or-treat time. Be receptive to the messages, though, that you receive for whatever reason, right or wrong, true or false, good or bad. Be patient as the moon speaks in the language of symbols, and deciphering its message takes time and receptivity. Magic is afoot. Sink into it. All right. So there's some mystical, magical enhancements that could be happening at the time. So our usual playing things down, playing things cool, may not be favorable. And like I said, the person that is having this inspiration and this awakening that's still struggling with dealing with it, or admitting that you are the creme de la creme, sneaking their way back into key, because they're being spiritually pushed to do the right thing and struggling with it. Okay. And I can see that happening, because if this is about like toxic relationships where it comes to codependency, they could be having their own awakenings or situations in other relationships that didn't pan out. So if the universe is pulling them and kicking them out of situations that they personally couldn't get out of, and now it's like, well, it's open playing field, what was holding me back ain't holding me back, and then I'm a key over to your doorstep. I don't know if you're into that, or if it's exactly what you've been waiting on. Now, the clarifier for the moon is the King of Pentacles. Now, the challenging aspect of this is someone who isn't really taking action, someone who is allowing their shadowy energy to slow them down from their own progress, which isn't cool, right? But the beautiful aspect of the card is this communication, this awareness, the lessons that have been learned, the wisdom. And I feel that for some of you, there is a person, place, or thing that is kind of like the Wheel of Fortune here. That's maybe why the wheel is over there right there. It's destined to happen. It needs to happen for some sort of learning experience, which we all are going to have until we leave this planet. So it's nothing to be afraid of or be like, oh my God, I'm tired of learning lessons. Sometimes they're empowering and they're super amazing, that lead you to your most auspicious self. So don't knock them. All right. I also love how the ancestor has this little tail or whatever that is a resemblance of the antlers on this Father of Pentacles. So you are in direct connection to this information from the great unknown itself, the mystery. Okay. The High Priestess. The High Priestess could be several pieces of information, or it just represents the all that is collectively, you know, in your favor. And I think that that's super dope, which represents some level of mastery in you, possibly through spiritual practices and or moving through these levels of lessons or whatever with ease. And so that's kind of cool. And maybe this was one of the last lessons that you kind of went through, which was the key shit. Maybe you stopped keying and start being honest and expressing yourself. Or maybe you've blocked the key motherfucker. Because, like, stop playing with me, right? The next card we have out is codependency. No, I'm just playing. It is coagulation. Now, intuitively, right, when I saw this card, I thought of a nest and I thought of all the junk that we bring back, like a hoarder. I'm not going to hold you. I thought about, like, you know how the mama bird bring back stuff for the baby bird, or they collect little items to get their nest all comfortable. That's initially what I thought about when I saw this collection of things in this little nest. But there's a slightly different interpretation for the card, but I just give that intuitive message. And how that would tie in is, don't settle. I wouldn't use things that are hand-me-down and raggedy and like have a lot of something. It's like quality over quantity. So for some of you, it's like quality over quantity is a very important message. Okay. Especially when you're in the in-between, because I'm looking at the clarifier, which we'll get to. The Nine of Swords can sometimes represent the liminal, which is the other realm, which says that some of this shit that's attacking you, or this key behavior, is bigger than the 3D. Okay, maybe that's exactly what it means. Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, they're paid actors. It also represents stuckness, adherence, and solidity. Okay. Sulfur and lead are agents of coagulation, and I know that. Okay, chill. I know lead isn't good for you. And while I like sulfur because it does rid us of negative energy when used properly in hoodoo, it is not good. Anything outside of hoodoo is like known to be stinky and bad, and it sticks out like a sore thumb. And it's like even using a little bit, you have fucked up whatever you was trying to do because it stank, just like vinegar. So for some of us, just be mindful to not overdo something, and then also be aware of smells. And or that was weird. Like, what do you mean be weird? I said that's crazy because I heard that I'm not really into a lot of it. I'm aware of it because I'm a theology major and I'm just a nerd. But I haven't really considered it in my personal life. But they say like when you smell certain things or you experience certain things and other people like are doing work on you or something, it means something. Like if you smell rotting smells or dirt or just weird things out of nowhere, hey, okay, so just be mindful of that. And it could be something of theirs that you have or something of yours that they have, because here's that collection of items, you know what I'm saying? So just be mindful of that. But the actual card itself, okay, it says when this card appears, you must discern whether the earth element is healing or hindering the work. Okay, is the attachment one of benevolence or convenience? So there's a possibility that, I'll say weird because I don't like to point fingers, but somebody could be or may have been in the past attached to something that was hindering, and because of who they are, they accepted it. And so that's why I say doing the work and self-mastery is important for more than one reason, because if you're not where you want to be, and you don't have kind of like a high confidence or belief in self, you may tolerate or accept others in that position because you want that same, level of understanding, sympathy, or support from others, and then put yourself in a bad position because you don't know why those people are in the position they're in. And then you having sympathy because you're in a fucked up position, so you settle and accept somebody. It's kind of like meeting somebody where they at because of where you at. That is going to be more hindering than helpful. And then just imagine blending with them somehow, or having children with them somehow, or now you feel stuck. What was this, friendly key turns into, now we locked in and it's eating me up, killing me, fucking up my future. So just be mindful of that. But this card talks about adhering together. So that was the beautiful aspect of you, your higher self, this high priestess energy, where we're like in alignment with each other after some great work. Because if we started out in this hyena energy, kind of like laughing at our pain, but it messed up and we smelled it through every other thing that we tried. Because I talked about sulfur and vinegar, and it's like no matter what you mix it with, it's gonna stick out. And see, the peacock is sticking out. So it's like, for some of you, if you're meant to do something on your own, or if you're meant to be independent and stand alone, you're gonna stick out like a sore thumb. And trying to hide behind others or join groups or humble yourself ain't gonna work, because it's just that. So do you. It also talks about experience with merging with other while not losing yourself. So just be mindful of that. If there is a soulmate or a 3D partner coming in the near future, not losing sight. Don't allow whatever this is to cause you to lose sight. And here is the Nine of Swords, which says that somebody in your environment could have anxiety, nervous energy, be in the in-between, not really have everything together. They aren't where they want to be, and we don't want that to spill too much off of you. Others of you, your ancestors are saying that there's something in the spiritual realm that could be negatively affecting you, has it out for you, and use your knowledge and your connection to move through the maze. Okay, maybe something that you're manifesting or something that's being manifested. Be careful. If I was manifesting something that's on its way from the other side and it's favorable, I'd be super excited. But the fact that there could be some static or friction in whatever I was trying to manifest, which says that some of that friction came through with it, that anxiety, those fears, we don't want to manifest any of our fears that we kind of played down like, I ain't scared, I ain't scared, I ain't scared, but that energy is still there and you're manifesting that limbo. So if you attracting partners that you don't really like, or situations in life that you ain't 100% what you asked for, lose the fear. You've done this before and you have the help of the grade one, so that's what I have. I do hope that it helps.